Have you ever considered that the very power you wield, the divine spark that sets you apart, could be silently draining away without you even knowing it? This isn't a slow fade, a gradual dimming of your inner light, but something far more insidious. It's a hidden danger that, if left unchecked, can leave you powerless, disconnected from the very source of your being, and stripped of the unique gifts you were born to share. What if I told you that this catastrophic loss isn't due to some cosmic decree, but is tied to a single, critical mistake, a subtle trap that many of the chosen ones fall into, a mistake that can bankrupt your very soul, leaving you adrift in a world that was meant to be your domain? You, the one reading this, the one whose heart resonates with the call of the unseen, possess a spiritual account, a reservoir of energy and potential far more precious than any worldly treasure. This account is the lifeblood of your divine purpose, the source of your strength and your ability to manifest your destiny. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. This account isn't automatically replenished. It's not an infinite resource. It's a finely tuned balance that responds to the choices you make every single day, a balance that, if mismanaged, can lead to irreversible depletion, leaving you a shadow of your true self. This account is built through acts of courage, through unwavering faith, through the consistent pursuit of truth and the embodiment of your unique divine nature, each deposit adding to your spiritual reserves and amplifying your innate power. The single, most devastating mistake that can completely empty this sacred account is living a life misaligned with your divinely assigned purpose, an act that is akin to spiritual self-betrayal. This is not merely a case of missing your calling, as so many mistakenly believe. It's about actively choosing paths, relationships, and identities that contradict your truest nature. It's about dimming your light to fit in, about suppressing your unique gifts for the sake of conformity, about settling for a life that feels like a cage rather than a soaring flight. Every moment spent in this state of misalignment creates a spiritual debt, drawing power from your account like an unseen siphon, until eventually you are left completely depleted. Consider this. Every time you silence your intuition, every time you pursue a path that drains your soul, every time you allow others to dim your inner fire, you are making a withdrawal from your spiritual bank account. This is not a one-time loss, it's a gradual erosion, and eventually you will arrive at a point of spiritual bankruptcy where your gifts become dormant, your purpose becomes obscured, and your life feels like a series of never-ending obstacles. This is a path of spiritual compromise, a dangerous game that many have played, but one that you, the chosen ones, are called to transcend. You're not meant to merely survive, you're meant to thrive. You're not meant to conform, you're meant to illuminate. It's crucial for you to understand that this isn't a linear path. Chosen ones often experience cycles, periods of intense connection followed by times of subtle drift. You may have initially felt the fire of your purpose burning brightly within you, a clear vision of who you were meant to be and what you were meant to do. You awakened to your power, tasted the sweetness of alignment, and felt the boundless potential that lay within you. But then, perhaps gradually, or maybe in a single, seemingly insignificant decision, you began to make choices that pulled you away from that path. You might have chosen a career that offered stability but drained your soul. You may have found yourself in relationships that felt suffocating, that constantly demanded that you shrink to fit into their limited perception of who you should be or who you are. You might have suppressed your unique gifts because they didn't align with the expectations of others or what society deemed to be normal. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. The very people you encounter, who seem to be the source of your irritation, or who seem to be blocking your path, are simply mirroring your own misalignment. The person who constantly talks over you is reflecting back to you the ways you silence your own voice. The person who seems to be constantly in conflict with you is showing you the places within your own soul that are in discord. It's not a coincidence. It's a perfect mirror reflecting back what you need to see if only you were willing to look. You are a powerful manifester, and even the people you meet are reflections of your current vibration. This is the initial stage of this cycle. The awakening, the initial knowing of your calling, followed by the subtle, or not so subtle, ways you begin to betray your true self. Before we dive deeper into the mechanics of how you can avoid this trap, let's establish a foundational understanding of what we mean by spiritual account. This isn't merely a tally of your good deeds, a ledger of rights and wrongs. It's a dynamic repository of your inner energy, your authentic self-expression, and your connection to the divine source. It's a reflection of the alignment or misalignment between your actions, thoughts, and your divine purpose. It's your unique energetic signature, the very thing that makes you you. This account grows not only through acts of service, but also through acts of courage. Every time you step out of your comfort zone to embody your truth, your account increases. Every time you forgive, every time you show compassion, every time you choose love over fear, your account is replenished. Think of it as a wellspring of pure energy, and each time you make a choice that is aligned with your purpose, you are filling that well. But it's also important to understand that it's not just your actions that impact this account, your thoughts, and most importantly, your words also play a significant role. The words you speak have the power to create or destroy, to uplift or diminish, to build up your account, or drain it completely dry. Just as a bank account grows through consistent deposits and dwindles with withdrawals, so does your spiritual account respond to your choices, both internal and external. So what does it feel like to have an abundant account? It's a sense of lightness, joy, effortless flow, and deep connections, an experience of being in tune with the universe and the power to effortlessly manifest your dreams. In essence, it feels like being yourself, authentically and unapologetically. Now, let's explore the significance of what this means for you, the chosen one. The depletion of your spiritual power isn't just a minor setback. It's a crisis that touches every facet of your existence. When your account is depleted, it's not just your spiritual life that suffers. It manifests in your physical health, your relationships, your career, and your overall sense of well-being. You begin to feel like you are constantly swimming against the tide, as everything that once flowed effortlessly begins to feel like an uphill battle. This isn't a hypothetical scenario. It's the common plight of many who walk this path. These are individuals who, initially ignited with divine purpose, now find themselves lost in a fog of confusion and despair, wondering why their gifts have become dormant. They, like many of you, have unknowingly fallen into the trap of misalignment, depleting their spiritual power and their ability to manifest, and now find themselves wondering, where did it all go wrong? The loss of your unique abilities isn't just a personal tragedy, but a collective loss. The world needs your light, your unique perspective, your gifts, and your unwavering commitment to truth. The chosen ones are not meant to be wallflowers. They are meant to be change-makers, innovators, and beacons of hope. And when your power is diminished, your ability to fulfill this role also diminishes. Imagine a key, perfectly crafted to unlock a specific door. That key is you. Now imagine that key, due to the wear and tear of misuse, is no longer able to open the lock. That is how the loss of power ripples through your life and the lives of those around you. This is why this message isn't just about abstract spiritual concepts. It's about the practical strategies you need to protect your divine inheritance. Many of you are unknowingly sabotaging your gifts through subtle choices, allowing the world to define you rather than allowing your inner knowing to guide you. This knowledge, this awareness, is crucial for you to activate your full potential, to step into your power, and to fulfill your divine destiny. You have a secret code within you, a map, that if correctly interpreted, can lead you to the greatest version of yourself. However, without this knowledge, without this awareness, you will continue to mismanage the very source of your power, falling prey to your own self-sabotage. This journey isn't a passive one, it requires active participation and consistent self-awareness. Authenticity is your compass, guiding you back to your truest self. Self-awareness is your shield, protecting you from the subtle traps of the ego, and courageous action is the fuel that keeps your spirit alive and keeps your account full. These are not just buzzwords, they are the cornerstones of a life lived in divine alignment. Authenticity means living in harmony with your unique divine nature, embracing your quirks, your gifts, and your individuality without seeking external validation or approval. It's about honoring your inner truth, even when it goes against the grain of societal expectations. Self-awareness demands constant evaluation of your intentions, a daily practice of introspection that allows you to identify any subtle misalignments before they take root. It's about holding yourself accountable for your choices, not with judgment, but with compassion and a desire to grow. Courageous action isn't about reckless abandon, but about taking consistent, faith-filled steps towards your purpose. This is the willingness to stand up for what you believe in, to speak your truth, and to pursue your passions even when you feel afraid or uncertain. These three values are not separate entities, they work together, and they are woven together by the thread of language. Each time you speak with authenticity, you are depositing into your account. Each time you speak your truth with courage, you are building your reserves. Each time you choose your words with intention, you are shaping your destiny. This is why the power of your words is so critical, because your tongue is the steering wheel that drives your life. Now, let's take a moment to address a question that may be stirring within your heart. What does it mean to be chosen? You might have felt like an outsider, like someone who doesn't quite fit in, perhaps even misunderstood by those around you. You've always felt different, felt a nagging sense that you are meant for more, that you have a unique purpose to fulfill. This is not a sign of ego or arrogance. This is the calling of your soul, the whisper of the divine that seeks to be expressed. Being a chosen one isn't a title to be worn with pride. It's a mantle of responsibility, a call to service, and an invitation to embody your highest potential. It is not an award that you receive, it's an active participation in the evolution of consciousness, a journey that requires unwavering commitment and the willingness to face your shadows with courage and compassion. You are not just a passive observer in the unfolding of life. You are an active co-creator with the divine, and your unique gifts, talents, and experiences are essential to the overall plan. You are here to illuminate the world with the light of your authentic self, not to dim it to fit in, or to stay hidden in the shadows. This is not some grand external force, something that is beyond your control. It's the very essence of your being, an internal power that yearns to be expressed, to be lived fully, and to be shared with the world. And when your actions are not aligned with this internal knowing, then you create energetic dissonance that eventually leads to depletion. So let's explore the concept of your spiritual account a little deeper. As we've established, it's not a literal bank account, but a dynamic measure of your inner alignment with the divine and your authentic self-expression. It is an energetic flow created by your choices, your intentions, and your actions. When your thoughts, words, and deeds are in harmony with your divine purpose, you create a powerful, positive resonance that nourishes your spirit and strengthens your ability to manifest your dreams. It's like tapping into the unlimited potential of the universe. This is not just a spiritual concept, it's a fundamental universal law, a principle that governs the ebb and flow of energy in every corner of existence. Just as the law of attraction states that you attract what you are, not what you want, your spiritual account reflects your inner state and the energy that you emanate out into the world. This account is also connected to what some traditions call the Akashic Records, the living library of every thought, word, and deed that has ever occurred. This is your personal story, and every time you make a choice that is aligned with your purpose, that energy is amplified, creating a positive feedback loop that accelerates your growth, your manifestation, and your spiritual development. It's like fine-tuning your instrument to play the most exquisite song. When every note vibrates with truth, your life becomes a masterpiece, and that masterpiece is your abundant spiritual account. And when you choose to operate in any other way, you are creating discord in your instrument, and the result is the depletion of your energy, your power, and your potential. Now, let's begin to connect the dots and explore how this concept ties into the idea of free will. The one mistake, as we have discussed, is not a random act. It's a conscious choice to turn away from your divine calling, to ignore the whispers of your soul, and to settle for a life that is less than what you were destined for. You have the free will to choose between the path of alignment and the path of least resistance, the one that feels comfortable and familiar, but ultimately leads to depletion and despair. This understanding places personal responsibility squarely in your hands. You are not merely a passenger on the ship of fate, you are the captain, and you have the power to choose which course to navigate. Every choice, every decision, is an opportunity to either invest in your account or deplete it. Every moment is a chance to align your thoughts, words, and actions with your purpose. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are a creator, capable of shaping your reality by the power of intention. This also begins to lay the foundation for the Reclaiming Your Power section, because the truth is you are not broken, you have just forgotten your power, and now is the time to remember. It's time to realize how you have been creating your reality, and to take responsibility for the choices you have made, and begin to make different choices, ones that are aligned with your truth. You must understand that your experience is not random, and that those seemingly small things that you overlook are actually directly connected to your level of alignment. When you are moving further away from your purpose, you'll start to notice the signs. Perhaps your energy levels begin to plummet, leaving you feeling constantly exhausted, no matter how much rest you get. You find yourself lacking in motivation, struggling to engage with activities that you once enjoyed. Perhaps you will begin to experience persistent obstacles, hurdles that seem designed to keep you off course or to dim your inner fire. These are not external events, they are reflections of your own inner state, mirrored back to you by the very world you inhabit. They are the universe's way of saying, hey, you're off course, take a look within. Remember the concept of mirroring, that the very things that irritate you or frustrate you are actually reflections of your own inner misalignment. These are not random events, they are opportunities for you to see what is occurring inside your soul and to make a change, to correct your course, and begin to fill your spiritual account once again. How can a seemingly harmless decision lead to such devastation? How can the smallest misstep have such far-reaching consequences? What seemingly small choices could be costing you everything? This is a question that many chosen ones ask themselves when they find their gifts diminished and their power waning. The truth is that one mistake isn't a singular dramatic event. It is often a subtle, insidious choice that is disguised as harmless or even desirable. It's the seemingly safe path, the path of least resistance, the path that offers external validation and approval at the cost of your soul. It's the job that pays the bills but slowly drains the life out of you. It's the relationship that feels comfortable but keeps you from growing. It's the small compromises you make every day that chip away at your spirit until you begin to lose your passion, your joy, and your sense of purpose. This is a subtle trap that many fall into, a slow descent that begins with small concessions that eventually lead to a complete loss of power. These decisions feel insignificant at the moment, but their cumulative effect is akin to a slow leak, draining your power little by little, until your reserves are completely empty. The journey to restoration isn't a quick fix, it's not a magic pill. It will require more than just spiritual platitudes. It's a journey of radical honesty, a deep dive into the shadows of your soul, and a willingness to confront the choices that have led to your current state. It's a process that will demand you to look in the mirror, to face the truth of who you are, and to acknowledge your misalignments without judgment, but with compassion and a desire for growth. This will not be an easy path. It will test your courage, your faith, and your commitment to your divine calling. It's not enough to simply wish for change. You must be willing to embrace the necessary changes, to make bold choices, and to step out of your comfort zone even when you feel afraid or uncertain. But here's the good news: it is not impossible. While it might seem like an overwhelming task, the path to reclaiming your power is not one of condemnation, but a journey of self-discovery, of remembrance, of aligning with your authentic self. This isn't just a problem to be fixed. It's a complete transformation of the soul, and you are being called to rise up and meet the challenge. Remember, your powers aren't simply abilities that you possess. They are expressions of your alignment with the divine source, with your authentic self, with your purpose. They aren't something you can acquire. They are something that emerges naturally as you embody your divine nature. Your gifts, your talents, your unique perspectives, they are all expressions of this divine nature, and they flourish when you are in alignment, when you are living with intention, when you are speaking your truth with courage, and when you are honoring your inner knowing. It's like a garden. Your seeds will grow when they are in the correct environment, but they will wither when they are neglected. By understanding that your power is the result of this alignment, you understand that it is something that you can cultivate, something you can nurture, and something that you can consistently tend to. So how do you access this power? How do you cultivate this connection? It starts by understanding that your words are the very building blocks of your reality. Every intention, every declaration, every thought becomes a living, breathing thing that impacts your spiritual account and the world around you. The path forward is not shrouded in mystery. It's a path of self-discovery, a journey of remembrance, of returning to the truth of who you are. In the next segment, I'll be sharing the practical steps you need to begin reclaiming your power. I'll share the hidden truth that will empower you to break free from the trap of misalignment. The tongue is the steering wheel for your life, and now is the time to take control of your direction. And so I ask you, are you ready to take that step?